Hi, my name is Dr. Zusialmianos. I'm the instructor of this class, Psychology 370, Motivation and Emotion. And I wanted to go ahead and give you a kind of super condensed version of the two longer videos I have for the first week. This will allow you to, if you are a quick study, to skip through those others and go back to them if you need. But this will, I've noticed if there's too much detail, a lot of times people things fall through the cracks. So I'm really going to concentrate on the basic details here. The most important ones, not all of them. So please do listen carefully. This should give you the basics, especially if you've been through a lot of the online courses here. And here we go. The first thing I want to bring to you is this QuickStart guide. This gives you a basic overview of my approach to the class and the kind of capacities and sort of the context of this class. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here because you can read this. These are all going to be attached or already attached to the first week of your course. And I will send an email out with these attachments. So don't worry, you'll have them in a couple of places. But I really wanted to give you an idea of how I'm trying to approach this class and what you can expect from me and what I'm trying to expect from you. So I cut that off a little bit because I kind of stumbled over my words. So let's start with the initial paragraph in this. Why take this class to begin with? Okay, so yes, why take it? Well, it just may be one of the most important classes you ever take. Emotions govern so many things. In Paul Ekman, who is the author of the textbook in this class, in the introduction, he basically says this, that emotion is so consequential to our well-being on every level, personal, social, familiar, and so forth. It can actually overcome hunger, emotions can overcome sex drive, and even the desire to live. I know a lot of you have engaged in this in relationships and so forth, can oftentimes feel overwhelmed by emotions, and very few classes or people will say, okay, how can we actually learn into these emotions? In this class, we specifically use even negative emotions as doorways or entry points. We learn into them with these kinds of experiments I'm having you do. And instead of being intimidated by them, trying to suppress or control them, or try to run away from them, we just begin to inquire. We become curious about them. How are they operating with us? How are they operating in our relationship? And through that process of inquiry, a lot of the intimidation goes down. And also the choice level goes up, because what we thought were just impulses, uncontrollable emotions from our family, from our boyfriends and girlfriends, husbands, wives, and so forth, end up not being. Once you begin to inquire and learn into them, and here's an even more interesting and intriguing fact, the people in this class have very successfully transformed those negative emotions into positive emotions. And in fact, we have a group presentation at the very end of this class in which we do exactly that. We take negative emotions, we research them, we learn into them, we use personal examples, and then we begin to transform them through our understanding of them and bringing in other resources into positive emotions. So it's a very applied class, it's a very hopeful class, and it's a very helpful class. Now, what kind of capacities am I trying to help develop in you here? Academic and world capacities. I want you to be capable, number one. My 4 C's. Stretch yourself, take risks, learn the material, cite properly, basic stuff. 2, be critical. Be able to analyze content and question the material and challenge each other respectfully, including challenging me and the academic people, the articles that you're reading. I like that. I'm not intimidated by that. I want you to think for yourself. If there's something that they say that doesn't cohere with your life experience, go for it. Be creative. Imaginatively and effectively apply insights and examples from your lives. Okay, we'll get through that. A lot of times people are a little hesitant to do that. They think, okay, it's first person, it's me. Do they really want this? Yes, I do, and I will encourage that throughout this class. And 4, be compassionate, connect and care to yourself and others, and investigate how emotions affect relationships. So those are the 4 basic things. If you begin to develop those in this class, I'm happy. Now, in terms of organizing your time, material, and assignments, I'm going to give you a basic overview of how these weeks are going to go and how you can go ahead and handle this in a very simple way. I would, if I were you, to keep a folder marked Psych 370 on your desktop and make 16 subfolders marked Psych 370 week 1, Psych 370 week 2, etc., through week 16. That way, you can type up your contributions to this class on a Word document, slip it into that folder, paste it into BlackBoard Learn to send it to me, and you'll have a complete record of this class. It's going to be very helpful for your profession. You may want to get back to it, and there you have it all in one place. In terms of my weekly pattern, usually on Monday, I give you an email, kind of communicating about the week, right? I'll have links. I may copy the links we have on BlackBoard Learn so you can go right to them, okay? On Tuesdays, you will have access to the question of the week and the discussion board question. Now, the discussion board question, I believe I have it here, okay? The question of the week is an assignment that involves accessing the academic readings, and the discussion board question, initial posting, and again, one response to others, okay? Because this is a discussion class, an online class, we want you to engage others, is more focused on social, personal, and current issues in emotion and motivation. So one's more of a pop culture one, having to do with personal life. The other one is accessing at least one insight from your academic reading to apply to that question of the week. On Thursday of each week at 11:59 p.m., the initial response to the discussion board and your response to other classmates is due. So you do an initial response and then reply to one of the others. I'll show you how to do that. That's due on Thursday, both of them, and then Sunday at 11:59, the question of the week assignment is due, okay? So to give you time, what I would recommend you do is go ahead and Tuesday or Wednesday, put in your initial posting because it's usually fairly short, it's personal, it's easy for the discussion board question. Immediate reply to some other student, and then on Friday, go ahead and answer the question of the week assignment. Again, with the question of the week assignment, there may be 4 academic readings. I'm only going to require you to cite one of the documents. And really, if you're really busy, read through them, skim through them, find one that you really like, find at least 2 or 3 insights in that you enjoy, and just pluck one out, put it in your response, okay? I'm not here to look for comprehensiveness. I'm here to get you, for you to absorb the material, learn how to select the information that's going to be useful for you, put it on the paper, and move. Especially if you have a busy life, this is going to be an important practical capability. Breadth is not important as depth in this class. Making general statements is not as important as making nice, specific, applied examples from your life, okay? But you'll see that in the context of this class. It's different than other classes in that way. And finally, on deadlines, I know that many of you are working with very crowded lives. Just let me know, okay? I'm not a tremendous stickler on grammar. I'm interested in your engagement, okay, more than I'm interested in P's and Q's. Now, when it comes to APA, it's really easy. When you're citing that one example from an academic journal, put the author's name down, put the year of the book. If you have it, I'm not even that concerned about that. If it's just only one author and we know who it is, just put the author and the page, comma, page number, all right? If you can find the year, fine, but just the author and comma, page number in parentheses after your quote or after the insight you gain from them is fine, okay? And so anyway, I'm going to go now leap. I'll do a pause here, and I'm going to leap to the calendar to give you an idea of how this is going to work week in and week out. Okay, here we have the calendar. Again, each week we'll start off, here are the weeks listed, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each week starts on a Monday, okay, 1:15 is a Monday. Your actual class, this is Martin Luther King Day, but your actual class will start on Tuesday. But I start my weeks off on a Monday, okay, and I end them on a Sunday. So when I say week 1 Sunday, it's the Sunday at the end of this week 1, okay? So again, the first week is not so typical. The second week is far more typical, okay? Let's look at the second week here. Each week you're going to have, starting on Monday again, 122 for week 2, what is an emotion? A question in which we're going to explore that with the academic readings and your Ekman book, okay? The readings are listed in the next column here, Ekman chapter 1, and they go by chapter. We're not skipping around, so it's all very easy. And then I have the week 2 discussion board question, and the week 2 question of the week question. Again, the discussion board question and peer response is due on Thursday of each week. It's worth 10 points. And the question of the week is due on Sunday at the end of that week. Okay? And that is worth 15 points. So you're basically having 25 points for every week except the final 2 assignments. You'll have a group presentation down here, which will be 100 points, and you'll have a motivation or goal paper here that's 150 points. So basically, if you add up the weeks 1 through 12, times that by 25, plus 100, plus 150, that's your total goal, that's your total points, and that's going to be your total assignments. We pretty much have that same pattern every week. What role do emotions play in social lives? You know, what are our moral emotions? How do they connect or disconnect us from ourselves and others? So these are interesting questions. They're applied questions, and that's basically how we do it. And that's basically the point structure there. So that is the calendar in a nutshell. You can look it over. You can look over the questions. And please feel free, if you do have questions, to ask me. Now, if you go over here on your BlackBoard Learn and you look into calendar, you're going to find the same kind of things happening here. Okay, beginning in January of 2008, you'll notice that the discussion of the week, or not discussion, the discussion board question and the response are both due on Thursday. The question of the week is due on that Sunday. Okay, they have theirs slightly different. I have my Sundays at the end, they have them at the beginning. But that, you get that kind of idea, and you can click on calendar and you can look what is due when simply by going to your calendar, going forward, and you'll see everything listed out there. I've already gone ahead and put those all in the calendar. So that's done. That's the calendar both online. That's the calendar here that I'm posting or attaching to your first week and giving you an email. So you should be in good shape there. Let's now go to the objectives, I guess. I'm thinking we should do that because that has a description of those assignments, okay? Here's the updated syllabus for your class. Again, I'm posting it to you. I'm going to allow you to really examine this yourself. I'm only going to very much touch on the most basic and important information from the syllabus. The first is my contact information here. I'm pretty open to contact both by email and by the message board in your BlackBoard Learn. Now, if you go to BlackBoard Learn on your left bar here, you'll come to something called Messages. You go on Messages, you can create a message, and you can do it to moi. Again, I don't think that the people have been added yet into this class. I'm going to have to go ahead and do that. But basically, you can hit 2. Oh, here we go. You hit 2. The different people in the class come up. You can select a person, add it to a recipient, and I'm in the class as well, or go the other way around. This is the way you can communicate with the class people and with people in your group for your group project, okay? So that's a quick way to get to me. It's also a quick way to get to your class. There's no information provided here except names, and that way it protects privacy and so forth. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to head back into the messages folder here and get back to the syllabus, okay? Now we're going to do the syllabus. I'm also going to give you a quick online tutorial that's coming just after this. Here's my information. Response time, usually try to get a hold of you within 48 hours. Don't panic if I don't, especially if you're telling me you're going to be late with an assignment. Just let me know, notify me in the email. More or less assume, unless, you know, that I'll be okay with it. I'm more interested in you informing me, okay? If you have something going on in your life, I'm pretty flexible on that. If you need some Skype time because you're really having a difficult time, I've not had to use this, but if you do, we can do Skype or BlackBoard Learn. Talk through either email or on the phone as well if it comes to that. Now the main thing here is the course objectives. Okay, I developed this course much differently than some other courses. Okay, first of all, this course cuts across all areas of psychology, from neuroscience to culture, and it makes it for an exciting class. It's flexible, it's dynamic, And here is what we're trying to work on here. Number one, develop a working applied knowledge of emotion and motivation in addition to academic understanding through those 4 modes I talked about: capability, critical awareness, creativity, and compassion. Increase proactive emotional intelligence in engaging and evaluating emotions, especially in understanding how even emotional impulses can be engaged consciously. They're not just automatic. Form the ability to be curious about and learn into emotions, rather than simply control, suppress, avoid, or rationalize them. These are really going to empower you in this class, because you're going to find you can actually do this when you're given that format and you trust yourself and you're trusted by your other classmates and by me to reveal what you feel comfortable revealing and to work on these emotions instead of just think about and talk about them. And so it's also here to develop the ability to set and effectively pursue difficult and specific goals. That comes at the very end in your paper. To enhance human awareness and effectiveness and choice by studying emotions and their effects on motivation, by learning into negative antisocial emotions, and by stopping their harmful effects and dynamics within the self and within relationships, that is negative emotions, and using this engagement and learning into to transform negative emotions into positive emotions. You can look at the department learning outcomes. They're somewhat boilerplate. The other thing that be important to note about this class are the required materials. There's some Blackboard readings, and there's only one book. That's Paul Ekman, Emotions Revealed, 2nd edition. You can order it from Amazon. It should get there quite quickly. Or you can go to the bookstore. Or you can do it from a library. It's only about 10 bucks. So you're in good shape. This class is not expensive when it comes to textbooks. And finally, the classroom commitment. Be open, do your best, start early, share often, and trust yourself. In this class, it's easy to avoid jumping right in, especially if you're an introvert. Don't like talking about your emotions, okay? Don't feel judged in this. It's a class that is supportive. And I'm constantly, and I'm going down here, humbled and amazed by what happens when you simply trust yourself to share and do your best. When you do your best and you communicate in this class, you do well. The last class came together as a class, and literally, except for one person who sort of didn't show up, everybody got A's and B's in this class because they engaged from themselves. They trusted themselves, they trusted one another, and they did the work. And that's the important thing in this class. I don't just give you an A or B for participating. There's no self-esteem. People earned it, and you can as well. And you're going to find a certain sense of pride, a certain sense of accomplishment, and empowerment in terms of going into this class. But just to let you know, I'm not this nasty, mean, saying, oh, you made a grammar mistake, I'm going to put you down, okay? Let me know if you're going to be late, okay? Let me know if something's come up in your life, okay? And in the examples that you share, all right? In previous classes, people have shared stories of abuse, depression, divorce, the entire spectrum of human emotions and experience. And they have come through with such amazing colors that have been literally humbled by their brilliance and courage, and yours too. You have this opportunity in this class, okay? Now, I'm just going to go briefly through the 2 major assignments that we have. Every week, we have a question of the week assignment, okay? You can read about it more fully here, okay? But basically, the question of the week takes at least one insight from the academic reading. And again, you do not have to pore over everything. This academic reading can be 100 pages in a week, okay? Do the summaries for all 4, skim them at least, go through one that attracts your attention, and take at least 1 or 2 important insights that you can apply to the question of the week from that. Cite it, and you're done, okay? Really allow your interest to determine this. Don't think about it as toiling and working through things. Allow your selectivity to go, especially if you have a busy work week. A lot of people, some people, many of the students, full-time family, full-time job, and trying to take full-time school. So you really need to be able to do this skill. The discussion board, again, is a more personally geared question, okay? And this is more informal, okay? But I still want specific examples. If you share your life with a good specific example, usually get full credit on this. You'll have a couple points docked if you do not respond to a student by Thursday. This one says response to another student due Sunday. I have corrected that. That's not true. It's actually due Thursday as well, so I'll just make that correction right now. Okay, so that is due on Thursday as well. Okay, both the initial posting and your response to another person due on Thursday. Now, at the very end, and you can read more about this, I'm just going to talk about this. We're going to have a group, again, in the summer, it becomes an individual presentation because there are not enough people in the class, but we're going to have a group presentation that is a transformative experience for you, where you're taking negative emotions like sadness, depression, and grief, and you're trying to transform them to happiness, joy, and care. You're trying to transform them into pro-social, positive emotions. Now, we're going to have 6 different groups. We're going to split you up into these different groups. Okay, I'm going to try to put you with your preferences on those class of feelings, classes of emotions to work on. But we'll have 6 different presentations, and you will learn a lot from these group presentations. And finally, you're going to have an emotion and motivation autobiography or goal paper. This is more personal. This is great for the introverts who are a little bit more shy about participating, but oftentimes I find they really step up in this. And again, it's practical. If you have an academic goal, a professional goal, if you're working on something right now, this literally is like a free class for you to get it together. So that's it in terms of the syllabus. I'm not going to go over, the rest of this you can really come to terms with. Online curriculum, readings, much of this is boilerplate from the university, but go through it, okay? Really appreciate it. And I really appreciate, again, dive in early. The people who have struggled in this class are the ones that got behind, let their work get up with them, and now they're behind the other class. They can't respond to the other students. It's just really, really important, let me stress this, to keep up in the class, okay? So we've done that. We have done the calendar. And let me go ahead and finish out the quick guide now, okay? In terms of my evaluation to you, I'm looking for high effort, high success, okay? This doesn't mean working long, okay? It means working smart. Find that specific insight that you have from the academic article, put it in there, and you're done. It means find that example from your own life and say, aha, this is a great thing I've wondered about that has to do with the question of the week. Put it in there, okay? In terms of how I grade, you kind of know this is it. You get an F, you didn't show up and try it all. Literally, you turned in a quarter of your work. D, you threw something on paper because your life was busy and you needed to turn something in, but you put very little thought into it. It's very clear. You threw something down to get it in and go on with your life. So that's sort of D work. That'd be like a 6 out of 10 or something like that. Your work is a C, which is more like a 7 out of 10. Your work is more conscientious and complete, but not very well thought out, and it lacked specific insights, analysis, and applications. People who get C's tend to be more about truisms and cliches, and one of the most horrible ones I hated from education with teachers telling me, I love kids for who they really are. And it's like, that's a cliche. That doesn't say anything. It's just a generalism. What about kids do you love? What example did you have about a kid you loved? Put specificity in there. A B, it means you have good sound effort, good grasp of concepts, you have good workman-like proficiency, but you're missing some of the passion. You're not taking it to the next level. You're not engaging it and saying, wow, what could I do with this? And the A, you do engage it. You really get into it and it shows. You're doing critical and creative engagement. You're applying this material, okay? And that is what gets you an A in this class. That's what excellence means in this class, okay? Again, let me emphasize, reading's an assignment. Please do not drive yourself crazy trying to spit back material in a fancy way. If you don't have time to read all the material, skim through it, read the summaries, go to the ones that mean the most to you, pick out 1 or 2 insights, put them into your question of the week, and you're done. Okay, I have a video on how to read an academic paper, but I really emphasize people to write in the margin. Hey, I don't agree with that. Hey, that's a great question. Hey, I never thought of that. And then you go back to that place in the academic article or the video or whatever you're referring to and say, and pull that out, put that in the question of the week or the discussion board. And again, you've got it. You've got the example, you've got the citation, you're off to the races. Answer the question of the week components. It's more academic, but still, even that, do it from your heart, okay? In conclusion, I'm encouraging you, okay, to ask and answer these questions. Which emotions are being expressed here? What are the attributes or traits of these emotions? What are the issues around them? Why is it important to study these emotions? What are the consequences? And what are the possibilities opened up by certain emotions and closed down? Again, we're really engaging this on a very, very hands-on level. So I encourage you to open up the carburetor, as it will. Come at this class in a more natural way in which you trust yourself and experience. Share what you feel comfortable sharing. And through the course of this class, I think you'll get more comfortable sharing. And it's going to really be a transformative class for you. Okay, we got about 25 minutes. I'm condensing this almost in half now. I'm going to be very, in another 5 minutes and we'll be done with this video, okay? I'm going after a very succinct introduction into your Blackboard. Now you're signing on to Blackboard and you're going to come up with this page. And it says in the sidebar here, start here week 1, okay? So week 1's a little untypical. It's got a welcome message from me and it's got all your necessary documents right here. You got your syllabus here, your calendar here, your QuickStart guide here. Read through those and read through this introduction, okay? And you're off to the races, okay? Now you have instructions here. I have a longer QuickStart guide and calendar and syllabus introductions. If this is not working for you, if you have questions, go on to one of those and you can do it, okay? I want you to do messages, so I know that you are doing messages. Okay, so please click on this. This is due on Thursday, first week. Okay, it's going to have your name, have you ordered the book, just to get you interested in doing that. Again, if you need messages, you go over here, okay, over to the sidebar, and there's messages. You click on that, you send me this messages with these answers. Just cut and paste these into the message and answer them, and you're done. Introduce yourself. Again, 4 basic questions. This gives you 10 points. If you click on the link to introduce yourself, you're going to find you can create a thread. Okay, go ahead and click the create a thread, put in your introduction, and then of course respond to somebody else's introduction. 10 points you get. Okay, and finally we're going to go back to week 1. I'm scrolling down again. And finally, we have this thing called Emotional Literacy Week 1, Question of the Week, okay? The first week is not so typical, but again, you have the question, okay? You have a place to submit it, okay? And please type of the question. Yes, if you click on this, you'll see you have points possible there. You'll see that you have a place here to submit it, okay? Now, I don't mind if you put it in the comments section. You know, write it on a Word, so in case you lose it, you can still cut and paste it into here. You can paste it into the comments section, or you can attach a file. I'm not going to bother here. Do both, actually. Why don't you just do both? Make sure. That way it'll give me an option, because sometimes it's easier to read it in comment form. Sometimes it's easier to read it on there. So why not do both, okay? Paste it in as a file, and also cut and paste it in as a comment section. That way I know I have it from you, okay? Now, week 2 is more typical, okay? Week 2 is much like the other weeks, okay? I have a reading prompt. There's nothing that comes here because this is just reading, okay? How to get to your weekly discussion boards. I'll show you that real briefly here. What is an emotion? Again, okay? You've got that, and this is what you do, okay? For the week, you click on the question, and the whole thing comes up. You have the introduction with the with the links to the videos, okay? You have the academic readings here. You have videos that are associated with the class. Again, these are mostly optional. The readings are not, but again, you can skim them and select at least one of them you want to focus on and at least 1 or 2 insights from that. Select that out, put it into the question of the week again, and you're done. I'm not going to be hounding you to know all this stuff. You get enough of that in other classes. So what happens is you'll have a discussion board question. You can click on the discussion board. You'll have Weekly Learning Community 1 and Weekly Learning Community 2. I'm not sure if people are in those yet. No, they're not set up yet, but they will. They'll have the group members here, and then you'll hit the group discussion board, okay? And you'll have the discussion board questions here. So for the week that you're going to do it, you click on the week. On week 2, it's what is an emotion. You'll create a thread, click on the create a thread. If you're the first person, if you're not, you're going to see other people's comments there. And again, respond to at least one of them by Thursday, and you're done with that, okay? So let's go back to week 2 again. The only other thing, again, as I said before, was the, again, clicking on 2. Let's try 3 here just to give you an idea. Do all people feel the same thing? You click on 3, okay? Again, the week will come up, introduction, questions, and so forth, all right? Materials, and here's the question of the week assignment. Remember, you have discussion board for 10, week of the question of the week for 15 points. You click on that, okay? You're going to see the question. Again, you can cut and paste this into your Word document. You can answer it straightforwardly and then take that, cut and paste it back in either into the comments section down here or attach it, or like I suggest, do both just to make sure, okay? And that will be it every single week. The only difference is at the very end, and I'm going to do that right now, okay? You have discussion boards. You have little shortcuts here, okay? At the very end at your group presentation, it says intro yourself plus shortcut to group presentation posting sites. On the end, you'll have, and we'll talk about this, you'll have introduce yourself, and that's a shortcut, a different way to get into introducing yourself for week 1. But you'll notice you'll have group presentation sites here for all your posted presentation, okay? And if you look over here too, you'll notice too, when you're shortcut, you can do shortcut to discussion boards. You'll be either in Weekly Learning Community 1 or 2, and that's for every week. But at the end, you can actually assemble your group assignment on these discussion boards. You'll get your members, so people in your group, and you'll have a little bit of chat. And if you're in the anger, frustration, aggression group, you click on that, and you guys could message back and forth on this site. You post on the other one, all right? And you do your discussion on this one, and you're good to save. And finally, there's a final paper description, okay? And that's on the sideline too. So again, there you have it. I mean, you basically have the entire course. It's been a little bit longer than I wanted, 32, but it reduced it from 2 about 30-minute videos just to this. So you've got a little bit of everything in this. And really, you know, again, I think I can't stress the most important thing really is to trust yourself in the context of this. If you have questions, let me know. I do have videos that help you understand how to get together for the group presentation. I have a video that helps you read an academic paper in a way that's very effective and efficient, allows you to get the insights you need to get. I also do a kind of summary of the Ekman chapters and the academic readings in the week. So if you have problem understanding it, you can go right to those videos and you can hear me engage them, okay? And if something hits you and you're a better audiovisual learner, write down, you click pause on that video, write down that page, and pull that insight out and apply it to your life, and there you go. This class is very rich. It allows you to really engage in the ways that work best for you and hopefully prepare you to be a good citizen, a good family member, a good partner in a relationship, and a good professional. So please enjoy this class, engage this class, and really allow yourself to learn into emotions, and you will, I think, be quite fulfilled by what you find. So until next time, this is Zeus signing out. Thank you.